for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. John.
Present.
Scott.
Present.
Mark.
Here.
Stephanie.
Here.
Dale's here. You want to take a look at the agenda?
The only thing was if you were going to let...
Oh, yeah, I was going to add county agent to the agenda. We'll put him after 3 o'clock. I'd already forgotten about that.
I'll make the motion to approve the amended agenda.
What, okay, well, I would question, what was the addition of the county agent?
He's just reporting, I believe.
He just wanted to make an announcement, he said.
Okay. You know, traditionally, we have wanted to know what the content of whoever was presenting before, so we had time to evaluate it or prepare for it.
He just asked if he could make an announcement, so I thought it would be all right.
Okay. Yeah, as long as there's nothing we have to act on, I
No.
suppose that's fine.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay, I'll second it then.
Okay.
Motion by Mark to approve the agenda as amended, seconded by Scott. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carries. We'll take a look at the March 4th meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as amended and dispense with the reading.
Motion by Mark to approve the minutes as amended and dispense with the reading. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Stephanie. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll take a look at the bills.
There are 2 bills in here that I got a phone call from the Association of Counties wondering why exactly we hadn't paid our Association of Counties dues, and if you guys were interested in being on the Commissioner Association, the national or the North Dakota Association of County Commissioners. I went back because I was like, you guys always pay the Association of Counties.
Yeah.
And I went back and I couldn't find.
It hasn't been presented to us
Okay,
yet.
so that's I
don't
was like
think.
I didn't think I got an invoice, and I went back and nope, I didn't have it that it got taken out. I didn't have it that I presented it. And then I didn't have it that I presented the commissioner's one either. Unless my memory is like not with us, whatever, but I didn't have that. We took that one out either. So
Yeah.
those two are in here again. Not because I'm trying to push you to pay them if I presented them in the past. It's just because I don't remember paying or asking you guys to pay those. So those two dues are in here.
I don't believe we've been a member of the North Dakota County Commissioners
County
Association
Commissioners,
for
yes.
quite some time. We think it's kind of redundant.
Yep. So I didn't know if if Scott and Steph were gonna be utilizing that. If you guys were thinking that you wanted to utilize it this year, so that's why I presented it to you guys.
I think we looked at that 2 meetings ago. I think it was $450, I believe. If maybe I'm thinking a whole year ago, but.
I think you're thinking
then we
of the
decided not
National
to pay it.
Association.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's because that's the one the state pays that, correct? The national for
Well,
us because we don't pay it.
correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, okay, that's right. And we've never been a member of the State Commissioners Association either.
The North Dakota Association.
And I don't know what
Yeah.
they would, in North Dakota Association. I don't know what they would provide for us.
Yep.
But you're right, that was the national at 450. There's too many leeches to keep track of.
I know. But I know you guys always pay that Association of Counties one, so
Right.
that's where I was kind of confused of where that one went, and
We always talk about, we don't know if we get anything for it, but we pay it regardless.
I think you pay it because then
everybody else uses it.
yep, and then we get a discount off of like the auditor's dues would
Right.
drop down and stuff. Yeah.
I think we've
So as
questioned.
usual, I'm not in favor of paying either one, but that's the only one vote.
I think the County Commissioner Association, that's the 1650.
Right.
1650, yeah.
And then the other one is the 5448 is,
The other one should be
5448.
Has that gone up? I don't recall that it was quite that much before. but
which page is that on? I'm sorry.
It's on the
Fifth page maybe?
back page.
that just turn it over on page 6.
Yeah, I'm thinking that.
It's on page 6.
Okay. Let's go look here.
Again, they tell me which one's which.
What were you asking?
Which one is which? They got the NDACO,
One's the North Dakota
so
Commissioners Association, and one's
1650.
the North Dakota Association of
that's
Counties.
counties, okay.
I think their services kind of overlap.
Yeah,
So we haven't done
we
the
don't do with the Association of Counties.
You don't do the audit or the commissioners.
Commission.
Association.
Yeah, but we do the other one.
You do
5400.
the other one,
I
yes.
thought we paid that though. 'cause-
Okay, so
we don't do
then
the 1650.
I'm wondering if we maybe brought that up to you guys in December or
Yeah.
like
And but
November
it
or
wasn't
December.
due.
It wasn't due. That's
Or
And then we needed it
due,
in
but
the-
it was in the wrong budget.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
that's-
that's what I'm thinking happened. And so then when I told
Yeah.
Maddie that you guys didn't approve it, I was meaning that we didn't approve it at this meeting and then didn't clarify it. So then she put it in her didn't approve pile, and I think it got
Sure. Now that you mentioned that, I remember that
yeah, and
the
that
invoice came before the end of the year.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm wondering happened to both of them.
Right.
I don't know.
I kind of remember discussing the North Dakota County Commissioner Association.
Did you? Okay. I went back and I was trying to
Before the
find
end of the
it.
year.
Okay.
Yeah. I was having a little
So how would we
deja.
make them say both say it? How would we make them both say in that do not pay file?
How do you make them stay there?
It has to do with voting, John.
Yeah, and I asked the age-old question, how do those dues benefit the average citizen of Griggs County? It mystifies me how giving money to an association benefits the average taxpayer. I just don't get it.
Yeah, they act on our behalf without our input.
Yeah, and then do the opposite.
Yeah. They're the organization that was supposed to be guarding the gates against Senate Bill 2324 and kind of dropped the ball.
That was the culvert bill?
Yeah.
My point is,
Did it go through?
They voted on it this morning, but I don't know
Oh.
Yeah.
what the outcome was.
In
But
committee or in?
Or
at
the
the
house?
the committee,
Mm.
but it should have never passed the Senate. But then no one was aware of it until it was already about ready to hit the floor. Anyway, on to the bills.
I'll make a motion that we pay the bills with exception to the Association of Counties.
County Commissioners,
Commissioner.
County,
the one for 1650,
yeah,
right?
and isn't there directory sales things too? What's that?
That's Kelly's.
Oh, she buy directory.
Yes.
I would have given her mine.
Yes. So,
Okay.
for Kelly.
I have one question. The County Mackenzie's, there's a lot of little things. What is that?
That's the tax abatement that you guys approved at the last
Oh.
meeting, and so she had already paid her taxes.
Okay.
So this is the.
That's what you do.
Yep. Yep.
That has to be subtracted from all those accounts.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
So that's how, some counties, when you pay your taxes, you get a breakout of where every dollar that you paid goes to, which is,
This is what this is.
this is kind of
Yeah.
Okay.
the same thing
Okay.
in reverse.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I'll second the motion.
Okay, motion by Mark to approve the vouchers with the exception of the North Dakota County Commission Association for the amount of $1,650, seconded by Scott. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
no,
Scott?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Dale votes aye. Motion carries. Dwayne, you got a lot of paper in the packet today.
There's a lot of papers there.
You got 3 minutes, let's go.
That's all I need. One of these was approved before, but somewhere along the line it got, the front paper, or it got lost, which didn't get to the North Dakota DOT. You remember which one it was?
Um.
Bridge?
Hold on one second.
Anyway, there's no money involved in this. It's just to certify that we paid all those bills and project was done. Any shortfalls was made up to the local revenue. And the signatory is changed to Dale Peterson versus Troy. Yes. Senate Bill 2103, House Bill 1176, final project certification. Project
This one.
CNOB, CNOC 2026, parenthetical 58, PCN 22454. And the other one is House Bill 1176, final project certification, project BRO CNOC 0020, parenthetical 032, PCN 21458. That's the box culvert. And the first one was graveling of Hannaford West.
So we need a motion to approve the certifications
Yes.
and closeouts of the project.
That one had already been approved,
This
so
one?
I don't know if you need another motion to approve it. That I was gonna have you, could just call you and see if you could just stop in and
Oh, no, if it's already been approved, I can just sign
that's
it,
what I
I'm
was
sure.
thinking, but I was like, well,
And if we
new.
make another motion,
Yeah.
it doesn't upset anything, I don't think.
You want another motion?
I don't think it's necessary.
Okay, it's just reports then.
I think there's,
the one
but the
that you
one,
The
the
one-
other one.
There's two certifications and
Oh.
one has been acted on, but they lost
Which one was acted on?
Yeah.
the
Bridge or the
Senate bill money. 2103. That's
2026? So that would have been the Hannaford Road
yeah,
gravel.
yeah, because it was 500 and some thousand. That was the Hannaford one.
So you want a motion to approve,
To sign the certification for completion of that project.
Project 21458.
maybe we should just make a motion to, for all three, so we get the right one.
Okay.
Like you said, it wouldn't matter anyway.
No, I don't think it would.
Okay,
Just read them both. Throw it up.
if I've got it right here. Engineering costs and bill. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the funding report. Would that be what you wanna call it? Wayne?
Project certification.
Project certification
As
of
presented.
the box culvert, the Hannaford Road, and what was the third one?
No, that's it. It's just
Those
two.
two?
Yeah. Have a motion by Mark to
Whatever project number.
authorize the signing of the project certification on project PCN 21458 and PCN 22454 for North Dakota Department of Transportation. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Scott. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
When you write up the minutes, make sure you don't just put the numbers, because nobody will have a clue what you're talking about.
Okay.
I can also report, I was out to Bismarck and testified on Senate Bill 2324. But the feeling out there was that it was already in effect, because the Century Code says you shall have a stream set.
Yeah,
But
but you don't have to.
you don't have to do it right away, you do it when you're,
Well, then, yeah, then they were gonna set it for a year. Now, I don't know if they changed that language or that it would have to be done within a year. Well, I don't know.
The way the language was in the century code, that you only had to, you didn't have any liability unless it affected structures. If it floods cropland, that's
Okay, yeah.
that's kind of how it was more set up to provide liability to the government entities. This bill puts liability on
Right.
the road district. It completely flips the coin on what it should be doing.
Well, I was out there, I don't remember what year it was, like 1999. We had a disaster and there was culverts washed out all over a lot of counties on the eastern side of North Dakota. And when the inspectors came out, they said they're going to try to put words in that you had to do stream studies for all these culverts,
Well,
all sizes, didn't matter what size. So we went and testified, and at that time, I thought they had changed it so that there was no, it was like 36 inches and under, you didn't have to have a stream study. But, so you said the vote was today?
yeah, in the committee, I
Oh,
think
the
it was
committee?
this morning. I haven't heard what the outcome was, but
So then they'll just recommend it to the House.
either they'll recommend it or they'll vote to do not pass, or they can kill it, I think, too.
But,
Connie,
I just want to mention that Jamie told me that Wayne did a great job testifying. so
yeah, that's what he
You
told
guys
me.
should know that.
He said he did way better job than he did himself.
Okay.
well, yeah. Anyway, it was, hopefully it did some good.
Yeah,
How many people were out there, Wayne, do you think?
You know, most of the people were from Griggs County. There was like 4 or 5 for, can't remember what the name of the lady was that had started the process. They were against, and then there was, Tom Dahl, Jamie and I, and Nick West from, Grand Forks County. And Aaron Burst. We all voted against passing of 2324. And I went there representing Griggs County Commissioners, and this was their wish, I said.
well, it's really a poor piece of legislation. It gives the authority basically to the state engineer to spend local tax
Right.
dollars,
Yeah.
or mandates that local tax dollars are spent according to the state engineer's wishes, and that isn't the way that
Right.
it
And they
works.
said, well, they'll do it for nothing. Yeah, they'll do it for nothing, but what happens if there's a disaster and there's 1,000 culverts washed out? You can't put any back in until you have a stream study.
Yeah.
That was a big problem.
Yeah.
Well, it takes the representation away from the people who pay the tax money, and that's not right.
Well, it also like takes control for us out of our hands.
Right.
Yeah. That's the bad part. We know more than hopefully you do.
Well, you get to pay, but you don't get to say. So do you know what happened
Yeah.
I
with
mean, that-
23?
Yeah, they had a
24?
subcommittee meeting this morning. It lasted about an hour. I think there are 5 guys in that subcommittee, or 5 representatives, and it looks like we've got an awful tough battle. We had one representative on our side that was looking at downstream impact. The rest of them, they want to get something pushed through. Dave Daring, the representative that wants to look at downstream impact, wants it to go into that 2208 study. So I don't know what will happen. They didn't come up with a recommendation for the for the committee. It looks like they're going to probably do some more work on it again, and it didn't seem like they're in a huge hurry to come up with a recommendation. But there was talks of maybe some other legislators writing some amendments for it yet.
Well, the whole basic premise of it is wrong from the start.
It
I don't
is.
know how much looking it takes.
Well, I agree. I mean, it is. So, I don't know how much Wayne covered as far as what happened last week. It was a little rough out there, because of Sue Backer and her story. And actually, Tom and I, on our way back, ran down south of Jamestown and looked at the Backer land. And of course, it's a dry spring, but that land was completely dry.
Yeah.
But they weren't exact. They weren't distruthful, but they didn't tell the entire story during the testimony. Both her and the representative from Foster County.
No.
So they had a couple of the representatives and bleeding hearts, feeling fairly sorry for them.
Well, generally, they don't like to write legislation for one person.
Right, and
so.
that's the problem. I mean, this one situation that really was not researched at all could change legislation for the entire state, and that's terribly wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not opposed to putting in culverts. I'm opposed to who's paying for it.
Well, it's.
Yeah, so can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yep.
So,
Yeah, we can hear you, John.
They already hit on this once, but we're arguing the wrong point here. It doesn't matter what the downstream effect is. It doesn't matter that somebody got flooded out. The point is that if taxpayer dollars are going to be spent, they need to be spent by the people that the taxpayers can hold accountable. To argue anything else is missing the point. So we need to hit home the point that we can't have an unelected bureaucrat telling North Dakota taxpayers where their money needs to be spent and when it needs to be spent.
It ends up in amounts to taxation without representation, that we're levying taxes and the people don't have any representation on how it's spent.
It's the argument we've had forever. It's unfunded mandates.
It's funded by
Right,
us.
but
Yeah.
it's right. But I mean, if we're making the argument that somebody downstream study and all the rest of this stuff, it doesn't make any difference. You can, if there does need to be a stream study done and there does need to be drainage put in, we have a provision in the Century Code for that. It's called a legal drain. It gives everybody within the drain a right to vote, and it's decided democratically. So we're doing the citizens a disfavor by arguing anything else. If we can't have the say on how our money is spent, then our money should not be spent.
That's exactly right.
It doesn't matter if it's a good reason to spend it or a bad reason to spend it. We have to have control, we meaning the taxpayers and us as the representatives, over how that money is spent.
Anything else for us, Wayne?
I think that's it.
All right. Connie?
Thanks, Wayne. Yep.
Scott had stopped in and asked me to put together a list of the duties that somebody might have to do if we got somebody for 1 or 2 days a week, or 2 or 3, or whatever the time it takes. So that's that job description that is there. I did find, when I was looking through the files in the tax director's drive, that other description, job description, which quoted Century Codes, So I gave that to Sam, and I see she's got that in the packets too, but. So I just wondered if you had any questions or needed more information from me. Bless you.
Thank you. Are we currently running an ad for,
No.
No.
I don't remember our discussion last time. Were we going to run an ad?
No, you guys were talking to the townships to see if they would like to, if they know of
Knew
somebody.
anybody
that
were
they
gonna
know.
kinda, okay.
Yep.
And it might make more sense to run an ad November or October, you know, rather than now, because it's not something that needs doing until,
Right.
I would say you'd want somebody's to start either the end of November or first part of December. to
Start running
work
ad
on
in
it.
August.
So, but I did get this information
Yeah.
together, so.
What about, any ideas what for payment, guys? Any guys for hourly, anything like that? Put there too, I suppose. Any ideas? You pay a person? Suggestions?
What was David getting paid?
I don't remember.
He was getting paid the same that I do, just on a 3-day week basis.
Okay.
So it worked out to like, well, about $20 an hour, which you wouldn't have to hire somebody at that.
Well, it's gonna have to be 15 if we get that, after we get that minimum wage.
So right now you're in good shape, so.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Did
Several
we,
months,
did we
maybe.
get any help with, what do they call that?
Sales ratio study?
Yeah.
Sales.
Yeah.
No.
And when does that due?
It's due to the state. Is it the end of June or? I'm not sure.
But I think it was, last meeting, we kinda were hinting that maybe we can do the same one we did last year. To get it started.
Yeah, I don't know.
It sounded like, from what John had looked into, that the same sales ratio study had been submitted in the past
Mm,
for multiple years. I guess I don't have any,
Yeah.
I haven't ever looked into it, so
Yeah.
I don't know how many sales there have been in the
That,
county.
that's correct. That's correct, that has happened, and of course, if we did hire a tax director, they don't come on duty trained to do, it's not gonna solve this year's reports anyway.
Yeah.
No, that's correct.
And I don't think the
It's not- I
person,
mean, so,
sorry, John, I don't think the person you'd hire would be a tax director, because they wouldn't even need any of that education to do these duties that need doing, you know, they'd just be an office worker, or whatever name you came up with for them.
Basically just somebody,
Interesting.
basically
That's
just
correct.
somebody to help you.
Mhm.
That's what we're looking at here. They get the burden off you there, so.
Yeah, well, and you could call them a deputy tax director if you wanted, I mean, that's whatever.
Then they
you
wouldn't
want.
have to meet the qualifications as a tax
I-
director.
I believe so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know for sure, but.
so we're just looking for an office assistant that can help, I mean, it doesn't have to be limited to the tax, to helping on the
Yeah.
tax director's duties, it could
Mhm.
be, it could be anything that we have to do in the courthouse.
Right.
Yeah, we can do that.
Correct?
True,
Yeah, we can
that's
do that.
true.
Yeah, you know, we played with that idea at one time, having basically an office pool and having all the assistants in an office pool, and then trying to, you know, delegate work that way. We didn't have a lot of cooperation with that, but I guess, again, to try to hire a full-time tax director, it just doesn't seem equitable to me. But to find someone that could help Connie or help us or help whoever is going to comply with the forms, that would be fine, and maybe we could find some other work for him or her to do, or, and the courthouse also.
I think the sheriff would probably be appreciative of some office help at some times.
That's true.
If we find somebody and we need a little extra for him to do,
Yeah.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah, the reason I brought it up, John, is just that we'd like to start to get something in kind of writing or concrete, so at least have a reduction of overtime fall rolls around. You follow me?
Sure.
so I didn't hear that, what?
Oh, I'm just, the reason I did this was kind of just try to get everything written down on paper, and so that if somebody comes to us, we have an idea exactly what they have to do. If you follow me?
right.
Or if there's some inquiry or
Yeah.
something like that.
That's what I'm looking at here.
Just
Right.
information wise. Okay,
Yep, no, I agree, yeah, so we're in the process of trying to figure out what the duties would be or how varied the duties could be of this person, whatever we're gonna put the title as.
Yeah.
What's needed within the courthouse that we could create a position for, correct?
Yeah.
or that maybe we already have somebody in the system that's maybe willing to take on some more duty, different duties.
Yeah. If you label them a tax director, or I would believe even a deputy tax director, that will start the clock ticking of the grace period that the state allows the tax director to be non-certified. And that's 2 years.
I like the
So,
of a courthouse assistant. That's a great idea.
an office pool, yeah. But again, if you label a tax director, then that starts the clock. And within 2 years, they have to have their level 1 rating or whatever they call that rating. And if not, they can no longer be employed in that position. So I would refrain from calling it a tax director position.
But that's just as an office.
Office assistant.
Assistant or
Office
something, yeah.
assistant.
Okay.
How about courthouse assistant, and then every department could kind of write down areas that they might need extra help. You know, that the miscellaneous tasks they took on that they wish they didn't have.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of have that already with the person that helps the treasurer, the county agent, and the road department.
Mhm.
We have a version of that already. So there's no reason we couldn't have one more person like that.
Right,
Right?
okay.
And how many hours a week were you guys thinking? Do you think this is a full-time thing, or not full-time, but all year round thing, or just seasonal, part-time? I suppose we won't know anything until you find out what all tasks other departments need help with.
I was thinking for the tax department part of it, it would just be 2 days a week. So if you add anything else to that, it could vary. Or it might be 2 days a week for 3 or 4 months, and then need it again in the summer for 3 weeks, for 3 days a week. I don't know, depending on what each office needs.
Maybe we should
It would be nice. It would be nice to have the person have some, I guess, sales skills, outreach skills would be so to promote the veterans tax credit, the homestead tax credit, and the disabled tax credit. It would be nice if they could go around to the different organizations and be instructive on how those people, those groups of people could take advantage of that, of those programs. That would be helpful to the citizens of Griggs County.
Right.
Typically, those people don't want to come to the courthouse. It'd be nice, they all have groups, they all have organizations. It'd be nice if we could just show up at those organizations and help them along with that process.
So we think we just put something in, like, advertise like September or something, or what are you guys thinking?
Yep.
October or something, start an ad or something?
Yep, we'll think about it back then again in September.
Well, it'd be about around budget time that you would kind of start having to
Okay.
think about it and talk about it and stuff. But then we can start.
Why don't we
adver-
just make it a reoccurring, yeah, why don't we just make it a reoccurring agenda item until we figure out what we're gonna do?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Old business.
Oh, business, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, we'll just keep talking about it till we finally hit upon what we actually need.
Okay.
Get it?
That sounds good.
Thank you, Connie.
Yep, thank you.
Do you, Connie, you want to send the county
Yeah.
agent our direction?
Oh, okay.
Why don't we do the library board appointment?
I received this email, so I don't think that there's much to it.
Way it sounded, we just need to.
Yeah.
Somebody just has to make a motion to appoint them. And
Yep.
Who is it again there, Blank?
Keisha Rickford.
Oh, yeah, because Andreas resigned. Or, not Andreas, Adrian.
Audrey, Adrian, I think it was.
Yeah, went off earlier, yeah, that's it.
What page is she? Is this?
it's the very back page.
Yeah, there it is, okay, Audrey, yeah, Adrian.
I'll make the motion to approve the appointment of Keisha Rickford to the library board.
A motion by Mark to appoint Keisha Rickford to fill the unexpired term of on the library board. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Scott. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carries.
What, who else is on the library board?
Um,
One of us, isn't it, right?
yep, me
Okay.
and, Lee Watney.
Okay.
I picture faces, it takes me a while to get the names in there.
You're getting like me. I could tell you everything about somebody, but not their name.
I know it, yeah, that bothers Kelly, I even start naming off kids, their kids, you know, who's got this. Truly Troutman,
Okay.
I believe is also in that. And, yeah, so I think Lee is the representative from the city. You have one
You're
commissioner, one city, and then I have three, at large.
What do you got for us, Jeff?
Yeah, talking with Mark earlier today, he thought maybe I should come in and just let you know that the 4-H program is doing well. There's a crops judging contest. They identify plants and seeds of weeds, and they have to identify contaminants in pan classes or grain samples, and have to identify insects and machinery. And we had 2 young ladies that participated, and we had the state competition and got first place team.
All right, congratulations. So
Who was that?
The
Girls.
Abraham girls,
Oh, really?
yeah. And so we had to combine with Lemoore because it takes 3 to make a team. And we got enough points from that individual that we got first place. And our 2 girls were number 1 and number 2.
Good.
This was the first year they've ever done it before.
And that was at the winter show?
Yep. At the winter show, that was a state
Oh,
competition.
wow.
And then also at the winter show, we have hippology, which is the study of horses, a competition for 4-H members. And we had 3 members from this county participate in a team, and they got second place at the winter show. That's not the state competition, but that was one of the contests that they had at the winter show, and they placed second. And we had one other individual that was an intermediate age, and she was on a team from Ward County, and they placed 4th.
Good.
Wow.
So I just thought I'd share the success of the 4-H program.
That's very
Thanks,
good.
Jeff.
Who were the hippology?
Hippology,
Yeah.
the intermediate was one of the Haugen girls.
JC?
No,
Oh,
from Matt Haugen's,
Oh,
the oldest one of Matt.
Ruth, I guess.
Ruth, yeah.
Ruth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the next oldest in that family was on the junior team, and then Devin Faulkner, and I can't remember the name of the other girl now.
Okay.
So we're doing well.
Yeah. Oh.
So
Well, that's good to hear.
thought I'd share that with you.
Did you have a chance, I suppose, to go through your questionnaires today on?
My evaluations,
Yeah.
I just got the data entered.
Okay. I thought you did a real good job. I learned a lot of good speakers, and I've had to do that for many, many times, and so far this was the best one by far of the chemical certification.
Well, thank you for that. I thought it went well today. The
How many
comments were pretty
people had to be certified?
good. We had over, 67 or so
Wow.
that have to, but we only had 52 that showed up
Yeah.
between the 2 programs. So
Okay.
people hopefully are finding other avenues.
Yeah, so I have a commercial one, which is due next year, but anyway, I've had it for years.
How long does our certification's good for? 3 years?
I think for 3 years.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
This
was
will probably
mine.
be the last one I have to do.
Mine expired quite some time ago. And
You know, and it's just to buy.
Restricted.
Restricted use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, tore down.
Yeah. But the bugs aren't restricted use.
That's true. That's a good point.
Well, thank you, Jeff.
All right.
Thank you.
You guys have a great day.
You too. Old courthouse, new courthouse.
You received some information from the NDSU. I wasn't about to print it all out for your packets, so
Did you have a pallet of paper?
it was a lot. And then the one that I sent you, there was a revised version, but when I was trying to send it, it was too big of a form. So it's just that she added pictures to the back few pages.
I just glanced at it, looked just like what we got before, so
Yeah.
I didn't know what the difference was.
Yeah, so then it just added these.
I think this
Pictures.
gal was doing this thing has got it figured out.
Yeah,
You just
hopefully.
drown them in paper like they want to do to us.
Maddie sent all the meeting minutes to her last week. It didn't take her as long as we were kind of thinking. It took a few hours, so it wasn't too bad. And then we received this back early this week, so and then she submitted this, so I think we're good.
Did she discover if there was something done to the windows? in the end?
I don't know. She never said anything like
Okay.
that to me. I mean, I could read this and.
No.
But that's all I had.
Future business, we're gonna put the courthouse position on future business.
Okay. Just the tax director
Yeah,
duties.
anything else for the good of the order?
I think the roads are in a lot better shape this year than they were last year at this time.
Yeah.
a little drier fall. But with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mark to adjourn, is there a second?
Well, there she is.
I can second.
Second by Stephanie. Is there any discussion?
There she's at. I wonder what happened to you.
Any discussion? Any further discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same
Aye.
sign. Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned at 3:23 PM. Next regular meeting is Thursday, April 8th and April 22nd at 2:30 in this room.